Here we are. This is December 2024, and we're visiting the Nong Lake Park, a hidden gem in Bangkok, close to Rama 9 Park. It's about 25 minutes from central Bangkok. Now, the Nong Lake is a man-made reservoir and a scenic recreational area. It is the largest public park in Bangkok, with 644 rai, or 255 acres. And the majority of this area is the reservoir. Now, the Nong Lake is an artificial lake. It is designed to support the amount of water runoff from the east to prevent flooding during the flood season, but also acts as a reservoir to store water for irrigation and public use. It's one of the royal projects initiated by King Rama IX. Now, around the perimeter of the lake is a 4-kilometer, 2.5 miles long bicycle and jogging trail. Now, it also has a very nice sports center. And what kind of sports? Well, it's a great place to run, to bike, and with a 1-year membership, which is 300 baht, you can enjoy a series of water sports. And there's a free pre-training class. They don't want you to drown the first day, that you use their kayaks and their windsurfing boards. And of course, you can paddle there in the canoe and the kayak. Now here we're walking here along the bank of the river. There we see the trash cans. Now you'll notice you don't see anyone standing there with a fishing pole. And no, we don't fish in this lake. But you're welcome to feed the fish, and fish there are. These are pet fish, primarily large catfish and carp, and they are not shy. So, quite impressive. There we go. There's that first piece of bread. Now, obviously there are certain places that people regularly feed the fish, so they will congregate in that area. But here we just approach the bank and just testing the water there, putting a slice of bread out to see what happens. Now, we do have vendors that sell fish food. They sell the commercial fish pellets, but they also sell these big bags of colorful rice puffs. And there we see the activity. There's those fish, and they're coming in close. They don't have to worry about being bothered or caught. Now, if you'd like to rent a bicycle, you can rent one for 2 hours for about 50 Thai baht, which is, about $1.50 or so.
That is huge.
Very reasonable. Beautiful park. Now, we're actually here on a weekday, so they're not super busy, but it is a very large reservoir, and the path is quite long. It would be a kind of a stretch to walk it. Certainly, you'd be in shape runner, could run it, but if you wanted to use a bicycle, it's quite impressive. There we go. Now, in Thailand, it's very common to feed fish. You oftentimes do this as an activity at the Buddhist temple. And when you're at the Buddhist temple, those fish are special fish. You're not supposed to bother them. And oftentimes, if the temple's on the river, they're river fish. Oh, here we go. Different. We have 4 different trash cans. So, got to make sure you put the right thing in the right trash can. So we have plastic for one, glass for another, etc., etc. Now, this lake is not just a recreational lake, it serves a purpose. So as you can see, this access road allows vehicles to drive around the lake to perform maintenance or whatever is required, and the lake serves a very important purpose. So it's flood control and irrigation supply. Beautiful day. And in Thailand of course is a tropical region, is that we have a dry season, which is December, January, February, March. But then as we go through April and May, we come into the rainy season, which is actually the monsoon. And there, it's not uncommon for the quantity of rain to be a foot a day. So lots and lots of rain, and you have to plan for it. There, the area around Bangkok is very flat and just about at sea level. So this is one of the methods that I'm going to store water during the rainy season. But then, of course, during that actually 3-4 month dry season, I have plenty of water for irrigation and for public use. So here we're walking along. Quite an impressive park, but also a large one. We said 255 acres or 645 rai, but the majority of that is water. And here we see their little floating platform that we can walk out to, and of course the fish are waiting for you to feed them. And what kind of fish are they? Primarily catfish and carp. Don't really see anything else. No bass, no bluegill. And you'll notice that you don't see any motorized boat traffic on the reservoir. The only motorboat is going to be an official maintenance boat. So there's no gasoline boats on this reservoir. We see many people enjoying the day there in the shade along the reservoir's edge. And they certainly want to discourage littering. There's lots of trash cans. There we see some of the bicycles. Now there on the off in the distance you see the sailboats. And those are for rent. They want you to pay 300 baht to become a member because they want to put you through some training and make sure that you're familiar with the rules and regulations there on the reservoir and that you're familiar with the equipment. So if you're coming there just for the day, no, those boats are not available to you. You have to pay 300 baht, which is not very much, obviously.
You have to,
Gosh, it's not even $10, but they want to make sure that you're trained properly so you don't drown your first day on the reservoir.
I think it's 60 baht per.
Quite impressive. And here we go. Here we see one of the I'm going to call it a sailboat there on the bank. Now you'll notice this is actually a walking bridge, but obviously it's designed to be strong enough and wide enough for a vehicle. And what we're doing is this is going out to, I'm not going to call it an island, but it's just a section of land that comes out into the reservoir. And remember, this is a man-made reservoir. So it's quite high and impressive. Here we see platforms there to go down and view the water. And that's where the fish are hanging out. They're expecting you. When you show up, they see you, they start to come close and come to the surface because they're waiting for you to feed them. And here we go. We've crossed the bridge. And now we're on the bicycle trail. And there's only one reservoir. I see water on both sides, but this section of land is extending out into the reservoir. And probably a big piece of where they were carefully placing the earth during the construction of the reservoir. Here we go. Here we're coming back, going over the bridge, back to the other side. And that is quite an impressive bridge. It has to be strong enough to handle maintenance vehicles, which would be probably a good-sized pickup truck. So it's quite strong. But today it's just being used for bicycle and pedestrian traffic. As you can see, it's a very impressive suspension bridge. It's designed for a heavy weight. And here we go, coming out and overlooking the reservoir. It's on both sides of us, and this is just one reservoir. It's all enclosed. And obviously the level goes up and down here from the dry season to the rainy season. And there we see the dock for the boats. Quite impressive. Beautiful day at the park.